In the final episode of this current dream series, we're going to talk about messages that can come through in dreams. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, our subconscious is the gateway to our soul. It's the gateway to our true knowing, which when we're in the sleep state is no longer guarded by our tricky little ego that tries to protect us from the things that it and we in our current conditioning don't understand. So our soul, our intuition, our true knowing is always trying to get in touch with us, but through conditioning, limiting beliefs, distractions, and overly busy lives, we don't tend to pay much attention to the messages of our soul. So our sleep state is the perfect way for our true knowing to get in touch with us, because more often than not, it's the only time that we're truly still. Of course, due to our conditioning, we often dismiss the messages that come through in dreams as nothing more than nonsense. And some of it is. Some of it's just our brain trying to make sense of the day. But there can also be absolute nuggets of information that can come through. We just have to be open enough to listen. So to share an example of my own, a few years ago, I received a message in my dream that my fillings were making me sick. So I couldn't tell you what I was dreaming about. I just knew when I woke up that I had to take notice of that message. So I set about researching fillings. And I was a bit confused at first because I knew that the silver amalgam fillings were toxic, hence why I opted to have white fillings. But what I didn't know was that a lot of the white fillings contain BPA, which is an endocrine disruptor. So when I looked up the effects that BPA has on the body, there was a whole list of symptoms that I was actually experiencing as a result of these fillings. And the first one on the list was the effect that it had on memory. So I used to have a shit hot memory, but not long after I left my life in Hong Kong, where I had these fillings done, I started to experience really bad problems with my memory. I was struggling to create short-term memories, and I was unable to access a lot of my long-term memories. And this went on for several years until I started to get really stressed and upset by it and asked the universe, spirit, God, the divine, whatever you're most comfortable with. I asked for help in understanding what was happening. And it wasn't long afterwards that I had this dream. So as a result of this dream and the consequential research that I did, I found a holistic dentist in Harley Street who took the fillings out and replaced them with non-BPA ones. And they advised me that they had a kinesiologist working with them who could test all of the new materials that I'll be putting into my teeth to make sure that my body wouldn't react adversely to any of them. So when she tested me, she confirmed that the BPA was having a very adverse effect on my body and that I needed to get it out. So I then went on to work with her over the next year, as she then helped me to heal from a lot of the other symptoms that I was having as a result of the BPA. So it ended up being a very expensive dream, but a dream that brought me a huge amount of healing. So I could have ignored that dream and continued to allow the BPA to destroy my memory and health, but taking notice of it has meant that my memory has drastically improved from the damage that these fillings were causing me. So this is just one example to bring it into your awareness, but the next time that you wake up with a thought swirling around your mind, instead of dismissing it as nonsense, ask yourself, is there a message here that I need to take notice of? Healing comes in many different ways through the dream and sleep state, but if you're not aware of it, then you won't pay attention to it. The journey into heart and mind, so yourself you can find, is an easy way to heal if you learn to know what's real. Yes, much practice it will take to understand things when you wake. Yes, you need to try things out to alleviate your head from doubts. But when you do this many times, you will learn to see the signs. When you start to set intent, you'll understand what is meant by the messages in your dreams, trying to show you your life's themes, trying to show you who you are as you heal from society's scar, trying to show you your way home once your demons you do own, trying to show who you can be. Dreams can help to set you free. So I hope you found this current dream series helpful, and please join us next week as we dive into a different subject. And as always, thank you for listening.